The draft is as close as I came to winning anything. My number was 9. And my friends were all drawing 275, 3 something. I decided that I would join the Air Force. Yeah, and I didn't want to stomp paths in the jungle. 6 weeks is all we had for basic training. Oh. I went to Shepherd Air Force Base, Wichita Falls, Texas. I learned how to make dentures and crown and bridge and partials. They called it a dental lab tech is what they called it. And when I got my orders, I almost cried.
What were your orders?
To become a dental lab tech. And I wanted to be the air traffic controller or a weather observer. And then I thought, I don't want to stick my hands in somebody's mouth. But once I learned how to do it, I liked it. Well, I was stationed at Wichita Falls for 6 months. That's how long the school was. Then I went to Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. And I was stationed there for a year and a half. Well, and my mother had immigrated from Germany. Mm-hmm. She came over as a foreign exchange student after World War II.
Okay.
So I put in for a transfer to Germany. And I spent the remainder of my tour in Wiesbaden, Germany. We had what they call an area lab. Mm-hmm. And that is have all these dental clinics, and they take care of people's teeth, but they don't build anything. So they take impressions, they send them to us, we build the prosthetic and send it back to them. The hospital compound that we stayed in, that we worked in, was a walled compound from World War II. There was a tunnel that went from the train station up to the hospital. And the reason for that was so that the civilian population could not see the amount of wounded that were being brought to the hospital. And that was all walled off. You couldn't go down there. You did not have to salute or wear a cap inside the compound. Otherwise, any time you stepped outside, you had to have a cover on. They did make, I didn't get to do it, somebody else did. A guy had a really bad head injury. And they removed part of his skull. And they did a plastic prosthetic to put underneath to replace that.
Wow.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Because these molds belong to Joe Blow. Don't know who. But this we did in tech school. And I brought them home. I had a whole bunch of them. And I brought them home. And I was showing my uncles. And they're trying them on. Oh, this one's not too bad. I think if you grind over here a little bit, I can wear these dentures. No, you can't have them.
Dentures are expensive. I could see why they
Well, yeah, I know. But it shows you how cheap my uncles are, too. We did have some guys that come in from Oslo. And one of the guys in a different base, they made crown and bridge for military dogs.
Dogs?
Yes. The silver that you see in a partial is called chrome cobalt. It's very hard. They would put those as crowns on the dogs and make it a very fine point. So they're lethal. Well, they got one guy, they called him Dogface. Well, I found out why, because he walked up to one of those guard dogs going, "Hi, puppy," you know. I found out that they had a rodeo over there, a traveling rodeo. And I rode barebacks and bulls. It was what they called a usurer-approved sport. The Armed Forces, European Armed Forces. So I had to write up a justification of why I needed what they called permissive TDY, temporary duty. I wrote it up for safety reasons. I needed Friday off to get to the rodeo. Saturday and Sunday are mine. I needed Monday off to be safe to come home from the rodeo. It was approved. So every week during the summer, from May till the end of September, I rode rodeo Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Wow.
So I worked 3 days a week.
Wow.
That's why I say it was good duty.
Oh.
Yeah, I won the bareback riding. They had one bull. These bulls would not take you, but for some reason he got a burr in his saddle, and I got bucked off, and I was on my hands and knees, and I looked back, and Red has just zeroed in on me, and I take off crawling, and he hit me in the rear end, flipped me into the fence, and my spurs got hung up in the fence, and he's coming after me again, and the clown ran through and got him away. So I went up to the clown and to say thanks, and he had a cut on his face. So how'd you get that? He said, well, when he got you the first time, I was almost there. He said, your spurs caught me in the face. Then not too far away is the Congress Hall, where they had the Nuremberg trials. And outside is an L-shaped lake, very shallow. People were on paddle boats and swimming and ducks. But that was a functional airport. Could be drained in 25 minutes. I learned a lot.
I think you learned.
I learned respect, and I learned that the grass isn't always greener. I learned to take care of myself. I learned that your word is your bond. I learned that when you set out to do something, you do it till it's finished. There are experiences that you cannot get anywhere else. You know, that marching in a straight line is not a big deal. But working as a team is a big deal. Having respect for your fellow man is a big deal. Being a patriot is a big deal. And I learned all those things. I wouldn't have learned them anywhere else.